From Justin Bieber, Anyone, and from Milky Chance. Wow, that's a funny name for a group, isn't it? Cocoon. Coming up, Deep Blue Something with breakfast at Tiffany's. I'm looking for lunch maybe pretty soon. Rikki Lambert has joined me to talk about water rather than food, but it does grow food, and there's been a lot of discussion here in our studio over the last 24 hours about the Foreign Investment Review Board and also about the Productivity Commission. Now, the interesting thing that we've been discussing is that if water in Australia has had an increase of foreign ownership in the last 12 months, which the report that you led with a story yesterday on, that a Productivity Commission has released that 11% of Australia's water is now foreign owned, and that increased in the last 12 months. Why is no one reporting on this except us here at Flow News 24?
I think it's simply because of lazy journalism. I talked about this earlier on the show. It's COVID, cases. It's COVID candy at the moment for the media, and they're not doing the journalism work of actually reading a report which, on its face, said, oh, look, there's not much to worry about here. And I'm worried because what I'm concerned about is that if the media and politicians don't focus on foreign ownership of water, the Productivity Commission will just go, why bother reporting on it anymore?
Well, a little while ago we had the Foreign Investment Review Board looking at all foreign ownership. The laws on that actually changed last year in March 2020. Before that, we had this $15 million would trigger a Foreign Investment Review Board, but now it's $0. So with that in mind, in the last 12 months, with a $0 trigger point, water has been sold to foreign investors, which hasn't triggered the Foreign Investment Review Board to knock that back.
No, it hasn't. That increase is in fact significant, and this is what all the media seem to be missing. We're covering it on Flow. 4,113 gigalitres was foreign held June 2019. Now, in the last reporting period to 2020 June, 4,300 gigalitres. That's over 180 gigalitres more water in, and a lot of it, the graphs are showing, is in Victoria, South Australia, and New South Wales. South Australia, the big upward mover in foreign investment. That's water in our Murray-Darling Basin.
It is, right where we're growing the food. So now foreign owners are either taking that water and growing the food in the basin. But again, then asks the next question. Where is that food going? It's obviously the profits of that food are potentially going back to other foreign countries, potentially at some point in time, as we've seen in Tasmania with the milk farms there, where the Chinese have bought milk farms and now they actually send the milk direct in containers back to China.
Well, this Productivity Commission draft report, and people can comment on it by about early September. If they really want to make some comment, they should look up the Productivity Commission Foreign Water Investment and make some comment, stir your representative body to make some comment about it, because what they do reference China. They do know from the polling that they've seen and that they've conducted for that report that the public sentiment against foreign ownership of water is very strong. People don't like it, and yet the media and the political class just seem to think, well, let's just wave it through.
Well, it's very interesting because when one does a search on this particular topic, the ABC did run an article after you actually broke the story on Tuesday, and then it is left up to Flow News 24 to report on it. There's a couple of very small media organisations, one in Canberra, but there is no national media reporting on AAP. There's nothing from the Herald Sun or any of the Weekly Times type of reporting. Fairfax, the Land Stock Journal, nothing about water ownership in the Productivity Commission has been reported to this date. And one would ask, with an increase in foreign ownership and with the Foreign Investment Review Board at zero, then somebody should be, like we have, questioning it. And I would suspect that there'll be more questions asked by the Flow News 24 desk of Keith Pitt, the Water Minister.
I will be chasing it, and I can tell you one of the major reasons no one's looking at it, it's raining and it's wet. And unfortunately, as I know someone who grew up on the river, at Berry on the River Murray, you cannot just expect that during the drought is when you talk about water policy. You have to keep your eye on it all the time. So otherwise there'll be a mad panic when there's a drought on, and then that's too late. You have to, by then, if we keep going at 180 gig a year, that is being bought more and more by foreign interests, by the time the drought comes around, there could be really critical water reserves we can't access.
And that 180 gig, of course, could have been bought by our state governments in order to meet the environmental flows and other reasons that we've already talked about in previous segments about water. So there you go. We'll keep reporting about the Productivity Commission's report into water, the increase in foreign ownership. You get more of that story if you go to flownews24.com.au.